Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Ram. Today you're seeing me flying a, well, I was about to say work in progress, but actually this is the finished version, if you ignore the missing wing, of the Mk2 version of my SkyHawk plane, which, as you might have noticed by the extra control surfaces, is designed to be more maneuverable than the other. I also changed the intake placement a little bit, and oh yes, and I made the cockpit a high visibility cockpit by mounting it at a 15-degree angle. And as you can see by the fact that I'm flying with only one wing, I have suffered massive damage, and I'm currently trying to see if it would be possible to land it. Right now I'm trying to see if I can control it well enough to land it. And I'm also trying to see what happens if I turn down the engines, if I can maintain control at lower speeds, at lower engine velocities, which it looks like I can. And see, that's one of the key things you need to do when you're dying like this, when you're having an emergency, is you need to, without coming down too low, test your capabilities of maneuvering, because if you don't, and you mess up some sort of maneuver while you're high up, you can recover, possibly, whereas if you test it while trying to come in for a landing, then you're kind of screwed. So right now I'm going to try to talk a little quieter, which is why you might have noticed my voice suddenly changed, and that's because it's actually late at night where I am in the world, and I don't want my mom yelling at me. Furthermore, I don't want to annoy the neighbors. So yes, that is that. And see, the extra equipment I put on this plane design to make it more maneuverable also part of that process was actually moving the entire wing, everything, up forward on the plane, so that it would have more maneuverability and less stability. That is the trade-off that you make. And the downside of that now is that we actually have a lot of... Oop, I accidentally hit... I don't know what button I accidentally hit. I have a new keyboard that I'm using now that I'm not quite used to because it's a gaming keyboard, and so it has some extra buttons to the left. So when I go to hit button like Control or Shift or Escape, sometimes I accidentally hit one of these special function buttons. Fortunately, they're all... Oh god, that's not good! Woo! That almost was very bad just then. I went to hit Control because I wanted to see if we could turn the throttle down even more and maintain control. See, the trade-off now with flying this is that the more we... Oh jeez. The more I... Man, this is difficult. The more I go slower, the more difficult it is to control. But the more likely it is I'll survive a crash. Okay. Coming down pretty good. Oh, there's a little hill. There's a little hill. Okay. Okay. Turning off the engines entirely. Gonna try to land it right now. Come on, come on. Just get it on the ground. Just get the wheels to touch. Get the wheels to touch. Or at least just hold it steady. Let it kind of just drop on its own. Come on. Whoa, whoa. Because I don't want to land too hard either. Ooh, something just... I think my engine just barely touched the ground. Oop. Okay. Turning off SAS, hoping that we don't, get too much aerodynamics happening. And when I activated the brakes... when I activated the brakes, it flipped us, because there's brakes on the front wheel. I need to fix that. Okay, so this is a work-in-progress version after all, since I have to fix that now. However, we did survive that landing, so that proves that it is possible, at least with KSP's current aerodynamics, which, if you haven't seen it yet, I did make a video about the next update of KSP already, because they released the update plan. I made the video a lot sooner in the update schedule this time than I have previously, because it caught my attention. This is not actually the 222nd revision of this craft. I just did that because this is modified from one that I actually saved as flat out the Mk2, because the flat out Mk2, as it is right this moment, is a bit different. And so I'm going to disable the brakes, and let's see. He's good. This is good. I took out the monoprop. The Mark 1 didn't have monoprop, so that means I didn't even have to worry about that. See, the clever thing I did here, or at least I like to think it's clever, is I offset this and moved it forward a bit, and I also stuck a little structural piece in here, this cone, and that's what's holding it on, to kind of give it this smoother flow. I mean, you can still kind of see where it's not quite right. You can also see that on this piece, but it's at least better than it was. This piece was actually, because the rest of it was made before we had the offset features, this piece is actually... Oh no, that piece is... Oh, wait, what? That piece... Oh, that piece is surface attached. That's what it is. This is surface attached. And I believe it has, like, most of the rest of the plane attached to it. Yeah, so I can't really move it without screwing up everything else. And then you can see there's a little structural piece here. Oh yes, I used that for looks. That's purely for looks. Nothing's actually relying on the positioning of that, because this piece here, this fuel tank, is also structurally attached to this Mark 1, the C7 thing, the cone thing. I believe I could actually reposition this slightly. It'll be nice. Nothing really quite fits the way I want. So now we're back at how it was after I fixed the brakes. Yes. Oh wait. No, I disabled the brakes. There we go. Okay, so now everything is how we want it. Let me quickly verify that the brakes are properly disabled. Yes, they are. See, they have little indicator lights. If you've never noticed that before, there's little indicator lights to tell you if the brakes are good. So you can see we have control surfaces placed very strangely on this craft, but it works nicely. It also takes off extremely fast, and without the SAS, it likes to fly forward. I saw that coming. I thought I might be able to get out of the way in time. I did not. Here we are again, and taking off properly this time, without striking the tail on the ground or running into the aircraft control tower. You see I'm going to fly right by it, but not into it. And yeah, it does have that slight problem sometimes with the PID controller of the SAS freaking out, but it generally calms down on its own. And that's not a test to this design. That's actually because the KSP PID controller is better than it used to be. If you'll remember, gosh, how many versions back was it before they changed the SAS to its current form? Feels like it's been forever, but it wasn't that long ago where the SAS was a hindrance more than a help. But anyhow, as you can see, this is a bit more maneuverable than the old version, although not by too much. Of course, once you're at these kind of speeds, it is hard to be continuously that high of a maneuverability, although I think I have seen it achieved to much higher degrees than this, even at these speeds. But that's okay, because you can see a lot out of the cockpit, and that's nice. I'm going to turn off the SAS right now and fly it entirely, manually. Yeah, because of the hyper maneuverability design on here, the roll is very, very... Whoops. Just about the time I noticed I was getting pretty close to the ground, it was too late. In any case, let me show you the original Mark II, which differs only in the fact that these are Z-fighting, which I need to fix, and it has these, which make this plane hyper unstable, as demonstrated in just a moment after I take off, and I'm going to gain a little bit of altitude so that I am not completely fucked over when I do this, and now to yank back. As you can see, it is hyper maneuverable, and that hyper maneuverability leads to it basically freaking out when you try to do maneuvers, although this can be useful for some tricks and can be fun to play with. As you can see right now, I'm kind of having fun just going in this super tight, weird turn. Sorry about the sound effect in the background. I did forget to mute my browser. Most of the time, I do not forget to mute it, and this time I did. Probably because I wasn't expecting to start recording. It just sort of happened when I accidentally broke the wing off of one of these while flying really low. Anyhow, that's about that. That's about it for this video. I'm going to quickly fix the small bit of Z fighting with the front on this design, save both designs, upload them, and upload this video, and, you know, accidentally... There you go, you can hear the sound effect of the thing in the background. Sorry again. That's player.me demanding my attention. I'm trying to take a screenshot right now. Thanks for watching. As always, see you in space. I just realized I need to have my mouse not on the... Hold on. Let me go down. Oh god, that's not good. Let me go up, up. I wonder what part survived.